The day my accident happened, my friend and I was heading home. It was her vehicle. She was the driver and I was a passenger. We was making a right turn at the red stop sign when a driver hit us from the back, and that caused the car to catch on fire, to explode. Unfortunately, my friend passed away and I suffered 49% burns all throughout my body. My fingers were amputated short. The hospital I was located at was Phoebe at Albany, Georgia. They had to make sure I was stable, in a okay state to transport. That's where I was hospitalized for 6 months. For the first 3 months, I was in a medical induced coma. I've had over 45 surgeries and I'm still having surgeries till this day. My fingers had to be amputated because my fingers were burnt so bad to the point where an infection was growing. To prevent more damage, the amputation had to be done. I was in rehab for 2 months, just relearning the day-to-day basics of going back in the real world. At that time of my life, I was 18 years old, studying psychology, working towards getting my bachelor's. I was a freshman. It was my first semester. It was also the first semester of my friend. She was studying criminology. She was also 18 years old. I don't really remember what happened, but I kind of remember leading up to that accident. We was coming from a birthday party and we was heading home, and that's when it all happened. That's when we got into the car accident, and the driver was a driver. His limit was twice the limit. He was speeding and he was just not supposed to be on the road at all. The accident itself, I remember screaming, and there's obviously witness that was there and also a police report that was made. So from my knowledge and from what people were telling me and from what I was putting pieces together, they had told me I was screaming, trying to get out of the car. I feel like in that mind state or in that period of time, I was more focused on getting out of the car than getting actually burnt up, because I was stuck in my seatbelt. The doors were burnt shut. They had to break the back window and pull me out of there. From what people told me, I took a couple steps. I asked for my family members and I asked for my friend, and then I passed out. And then 3 months later, I woke up. We were living in dorms. Me and my friend were both living in dorms, and there's also off-campus housing, which is apartments but tied to the school. So we was across the street from that. So we was at the stop sign when we was waiting at a turn. It was our right to go. We was waiting to turn right, and that's when it all happened. The driver was coming in and hit us, and that impact of him hitting us super hard and at the speed that he was at, because it was a school zone, and I think they had said he was 120, over 120. He's not controlling the vehicle well, and that led the car to crash. At that point, the car was totaled. The car was caught on fire, like an explosion in a sense, but not too big that impacted others, just the people that was inside, so me and my friend. So the car suffered many damages and just was burned up overall. Like, it's totaled, it's no good use. One thing led to another, and I wake up in a hospital 3 months later. Like, me waking up, I thought it was something new, something fresh, but it came to my knowledge that it has been 3 months that I've been here. When I woke up, I was very confused. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how to deal about it, because I'm coming into a hospital just waking up off being in an accident, a fatal accident, and off all types of medication, all types of tubes, all types of machine attached to me. So I'm at the point where I don't really know what's really going on, but I'm keeping my calm because I can't really act out of character not knowing what position that I am in. I couldn't talk, walk, eat, nothing. Like, independently or on my own, I couldn't do that at all. I just know that I had all types of tubes and all types of machine attached to me. I wasn't really necessarily scared because I didn't really know what I should be scared of, because I didn't really know. But yeah, I was just mostly confused and in pain. In this period of time, in the ICU, obviously there's risk of infections. So it was only 18 and older, and I do have younger siblings but they were not able to visit me until rehab. So at that point, it was just my mom, and she was just explaining to me how I was in a car accident. My friend Nita was driving. At this point, she didn't really tell me what happened to her because I was still in a period of shock. So she just told me I was in a car accident. A driver hit the vehicle that you was in, and the car exploded. You suffered burns and amputation had to be done. In that point of time, I was all in bandages, so I couldn't really see the impact. So she was telling me these things, but physically, I couldn't see them. And also mentally, I still felt like the same person. And while she was telling me all these things, I couldn't talk, I couldn't react, I couldn't give her a response. So I was just looking at her. All my injuries coming into the hospital, I just suffered all types of burns. When I first came in, I was a Jane Doe. I was burned up super badly that I was unrecognizable. It's funny because it's funny because a week before my accident, I had gotten my nails done and they were purple. And I had shown my mom my nails. And that was the only way my mom was able to recognize me. I was super burned up, super damaged, and my fingernails were the only thing that she was able to say, yeah, that's my daughter. Because her finding out, the school said, your daughter has been in a car accident, you have to go to Phoebe Hospital. That was all that was told to her. She didn't have no more information than that is until she came to the hospital and they said, can you please identify your daughter, or can you please identify this patient? Despite all my body being burned up, the purple was the only thing that she was able to see, and she was able to identify me. It was just basically my skin. No organs were affected, nothing inside was infected. It was just my skin that was burned up and that needed skin grafts, that needed all types of surgeries. And then later down the line, me being in the ICU, my fingers had to be amputated because an infection was growing. Because I was in a medical induced coma, my mom had the power of attorney over me. They came to her and said, this is what we need to do next in order to save your daughter's life, because an infection can turn major super quickly. They had to take a decision in that moment to prevent any risk. So they had asked my mom, are we able to do amputations on her fingers? And they went through the process with her and explained to her, she's still gonna have hands. As you guys can see, I still have hands. It's just my digits that were amputated short. And she had to make that decision for someone else, knowing that hands are something that we use for everything. And she had to make that decision for me and allow them to amputate my fingers in order to save my life and to also reduce any more risk long term. Skin graft needed to be done. My hair was burnt off. Reconstruction had to be done. But as of my internal organs or anything inside, nothing was affected. Coming out of the car, I was told that my spine had fractured, but that's something that could resolve on its own with time. They didn't want to go to it or touch it because they didn't want to cause any more damage to it. They said they're just gonna leave it alone. So I figured how they pulled me out of the vehicle, because it was such a tight area, tight space, and them breaking the back window from the back seat and pulling me out of the vehicle in order to save my life. I guess my back fractured. When I was able to talk more, there was a point I had a couple down moments in the hospital. At this point, I'm all bandaged up. I don't know if my fingers are amputated or not. And when she did tell me, it was more so what type of amputations were done, because there's all different types of amputations. I just know my body was wrapped up, and her telling me those things, I didn't really take it in until I was able to see how my body was. Even when I see my fingers, I didn't really, yes, I had shed a couple tears because it's damn, I'm in the hospital, I have already this to worry about. Now I'm finding about my hands and just looking at them. At that point, I haven't had much surgery on it. I just had skin graft done on it. So anything in order for me to function or move or do stuff independently, that wasn't done until after I got out of the hospital. So me seeing my fingers, I had a conversation on why they had to, because I'm curious, my fingers were amputated. I'm curious why my fingers had to be amputated. So she explained to me, oh, this is what needed to be done. The doctor told me this was the safest. The doctor basically explained to her, this is her new reality. We just have to take precautions and handle it wisely. So it was more so on the doctor giving her insight, and also her coming to a conclusion that this is what needs to be done in order to save my daughter. So this is what she did. And I was glad that this happened, because further damage could have been done. Overall, I was hospitalized for 6 months. For the first 3, I was in a medical induced coma. And then for the 4th month, I was in mid-surge. So I was still having surgeries, but I wasn't fully recovered or fully to the point to be going to rehab. So rehab was more so towards the end. The skin is starting to heal, and I was able to just do certain activities. They would make me walk, get on machines, and just help progress the body, because the body needs to constantly move. With having tight scars and tight skin, we want to be able to function through that. So that was being done. I had OT and PT to help me get my body moving. This happening affected me in so many ways mentally, more so for the good than for the worse, because at the end of the day, I just gotta keep moving forward and know that there's better to come. Something good can come out of something bad, and I know that my current situation wasn't my final destination. Although I was going through all of these things, I know that I will get better, I will improve. So just keeping a positive mindset and knowing that whatever I'm going through right now doesn't define me. Whatever I'm going through right now shouldn't stop me or not motivate me to push me for a better, to push me for the better. In a period of time, yes, everything that went down was super fast, super rushed. Like me being in that state, I didn't really process it. So for the bad, I can't really say that, like, yes, it definitely took a toll on me because different things were happening all at once. But at the same time, in the state that I was in, I wasn't able to process it as I am processing now that I'm out of the hospital, that I'm realizing certain things that I went through. Because overall, I'm blessed to still be here, still be alive, and just, live another day, do things I wasn't able to do before. So me just speaking, me just walking, me just being outside of that environment, because I've never been in a hospital setting other than me being born or me seeing a family member. So I was able to see that side. And despite everything that went down, I'm glad that I'm past that stage, and I'm just keeping a positive attitude and just keeping my head over my shoulders, because a lot of things that happened broke me down but also build me up. I'm just thinking in the future now, like I don't have fingers, and being put in that position makes you kind of get to thinking, like, what are others gonna think about? It's like, this is my reality nowadays, like how I'm gonna be doing this and how I'm gonna be doing that. Despite the support and the help you may have, you still feel alone because you are going through that alone. You are put in a position where you don't know what's next. Like, that was mostly my mainly concern, is like, I don't know what's next. I look like this is my reality. When I leave here, I don't know how I'm gonna be outside of like the hospital, because when I would come for rehab and stuff, it was other burn survivors. Like the facility that I was in, they have a burn unit. It has all types of patients. It has wounded patients, it had burn survivors, it had broken bones. It was in all types of ages, all types of stages. So I found comfort within those people. To this day, I still have my overthinking, but I just knew it was gonna get better. So with time, you kind of put that thought to rest, and you just gotta keep moving forward despite the bad days. You can have all the support, the help, the motivation in the world, but at the end of the day, you just gotta mentally prepare. You have to mentally adjust yourself to your new reality, your new environment. It's okay to not be okay. We all have our days. Yes, it's sad, and sometimes it's not fair, but I felt like I never lost hope. Yes, I would feel discouraged I didn't get it the first time, because normally I would get it the first time. But after you keep trying and you show up for yourself, that part is beautiful, because you show up for yourself, you try, like at least you tried, you give it your all, you give it your best. That's all that matters. The 23rd of March, I celebrated my 2-year burn anniversary. Looking back 2 years ago, I am super happy, super proud that I just kept pushing myself, kept moving forward. I kept showing up for myself. I gave it my best, and I'm at the point where everything I've been through build me to the person I am today. You are in control of what's next. You are in control of prioritizing your peace and happiness, and that's what I did. In order for me to move forward, I had to heal from what was holding me down. I'm doing good as of now. I'm still in my recovery. I'm still in my healing journey, but I'm more so almost done. I would say almost done. How it's looking like I'm almost done. Basically, the type of surgeries I'm having nowadays is to help flying and smoothing the scar on my skin. I'm on less medication. I'm still going to therapy. I'm still speaking to somebody to, help express myself. I do plan on going back to school in the fall semester, resuming my education, resuming my studies in psychology. So I'm excited. I'm going to be on campus again. I'm going back to the same school. So I'm at the point where I'm just excited to see what's next. I'm just blessed overall. I'm blessed to still be here and help motivate others, help inspire others with my story, with my testimony. Sometimes things happen in our life and we don't know what's next, but we just gotta keep moving forward, keep a positive attitude, keep a positive mindset, and know that better days are to come. There is light at the end of a dark tunnel. The driver at fault did suffer a couple scratches, but nothing too crazy that me and my friend didn't suffer from. We did go to court for it. We did get the justice we deserve in a sense, because what was done, what was said already happened. We can only just go about the situation. He is behind bars. The driver was sentenced 32 years. Personally, I feel like I've forgiven them. I just don't think of them whatsoever. I don't let it bring me down. I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed to be here. Like I said, I celebrated my 2-year burn anniversary. I'm just thankful and grateful to, help others, help inspire others, and motivate others with my testimony